So with reason, it's obviously the biggest tick is that persistence. We don't have the luxury of having standoff pads or feed pads or anything like that. When our cows are grass based, they're out in those paddocks. So I need something that's going to be able to withstand, that grazing pressure and at different times of year. Wet, dry. The reason just bounces through all those challenges. It just keeps coming back every time. I'm Dayne Addison. Me, my wife and 2 young daughters, we farm here about 20 minutes, half an hour south of Te Awamutu. We're farming on 350 hectares effective and milking just under 1,100 cows. A huge part of the success within the business is aligning ourselves with companies and people that share the same values and everything like that. And one of them is Farm Source, and just having that relationship with the TSR and I'd like to think I know it all, but in reality I don't. So being a phone call away to any problems or issues or concerns I have about anything is invaluable. So with Vic and Otorohanga there, and Sharon lives just down the road, nothing's ever an issue or nothing's ever too much of a problem. We still run like a pretty easy pasture-based system 3. 3 years down at Lincoln, had that sort of hammered into me, the importance of pasture-based farming and the competitive advantage we have down here in New Zealand. Brought that back here and sort of hold pretty important like profitability over production. So we don't import a lot of feed. We've got in-shed feeding, but we do about half a tonne of cow through that. And then other than that, it's just grow a bit of maize silage, grass, and then we do chicory as well over summer, just to get that protein up when it gets dry. Most impressed with reason with the persistence. I've got some that's 4 years now and it's still looking nice, it's still palatable, it's still growing well. Whereas in the past, year 1, year 2 would be phenomenal. It would start dropping off at year 3 and by year 4 it would be quite tired and patchy. So I've found a real good spot for the reason for me as I put it up on the higher country. Just with that earlier heading date, I get that high quality feed earlier, and when those paddocks are drier, and then if they do dry out, I've sort of got the bulk of my yield and my feed off that each season. And then I keep the Allegion, I put that down on the flats, and just with that later heading date, I can keep that high quality stuff going through on the flats after my hills and my more rolling countries started going to seed or started going reproductive. One of the defining factors of picking the reason as one of my grass seeds was the AR37 endophyte on it. Obviously with these Waikato soils, they're pretty bad for black beetle and Argentine stem weevil. So if you can have something in there to protect that grass, that goes a pretty long way. And then I think that's probably one of the main reasons why I'm seeing such better persistence, because you do have that protection. So a huge part of my why with farming, and you've sort of got to have a why because no one wants to get up at the wee hours of the morning and working late and through all the elements and everything else you're battling with each day. You've got to have something to get you out of bed, and for me it's that family legacy. That's my why. So a big priority of mine is sustainability, and just making sure that the land is improved and is sustainable and can be passed down to the next generation. If you want to learn more about Reason AR37, talk to your local Farm Source representative.